Hello everyone and welcome to Soccer Couch. Here are today's news. Dan Burn doesn't wanna wake up from the 4-1 with over PSG. Newcastle United defender Dan Burn said he is afraid he will wake up and find their 4-1 victory over Paris Saint-Germain on Wednesday was all just a dream after the defender netted his first Champions League goal in the win. Burn, Miguel Almiron, Sean Longstaff and Fabien Schär scored for Newcastle, who put in a stellar showing to defeat PSG and take top spot in Group F on 4 points, one clear of the French champions. It has not sunk in, Burn told TNT Sports. I was released by Fulham at 25 years old. To be able to come back and play Champions League football. I'm very proud. It is like a dream. I am waiting for someone to wake us up. I am waiting for the bubble to pop. Midfielder Longstaff was proud that he and Burn, two players who came through Newcastle's academy, got on the score sheet. Next on the news, Manchester City manager hails young Rico Lewis for his heroics play against RB Leipzig, saying he is one of the best he has coached. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola says Rico Lewis is one of the best players he has ever trained and expects the teenager to play a big role for the club this season after he impressed in their 3-1 Champions League win at RB Leipzig. Academy graduate Lewis, who made 23 appearances for City in all competitions last season, was among the Premier League club's best attacking outlets on Wednesday and set up Phil Foden's 25th minute opener. Asked about Lewis' performance, Guardiola, who has previously coached the likes of Lionel Messi and Xavi Hernandez, told reporters, "What a player, 18 years old. I have been a manager for 15 years training unbelievable players. To find a player like him playing in the pockets, how he has to move in holding midfield, fullback coming inside moving in the spaces, he is one of the best I ever trained by far. Today was proof again. This season he hasn't played much but he is going to play a lot." The win saw City move to 6 points from 2 games in Group G and comes after defeats to Wolverhampton Wanderers in the league and Newcastle United in the League Cup. 3 or 4 days ago, it was no progress because we lost in Wolves. It was important to break that, Guardiola said. The Premier League leaders next face third-placed Arsenal on Sunday. The clubs were involved in a two-way battle for the title last season before Arsenal faltered in the run-in. We will go to Arsenal to do our game, Guardiola told TNT Sports. Hopefully we can arrive in March, April, May, being there close to the competitions. I have a feeling we will not be an easy opponent to beat. Lastly, Barcelona edged stubborn FC Porto in a narrow 1-0 victory to make it 2 out of 2 in the UEFA Champions League. Young Yamal breaks UEFA Champions League record to be the youngest player in the starting lineup. Barcelona made it 2 wins out of 2 in the UEFA Champions League group stage with a narrow 1-0 win over Porto at the Estadio do Dragão, a 10th outing without defeat to start the season for the Blaugrana. History was made when Xavi named his starting 11, as Lamine Yamal became the youngest ever player to start in the UCL at just 16 years and 83 days old. The youngster was a bright spark for Barca in an otherwise quiet half of football. The away side had most of the possession throughout the first 45 minutes, but struggled to create any significant chances. João Felix had a pop shot from the edge of the box saved by Diogo Costa, but the Catalans were dealt a blow around the 30-minute mark as Robert Lewandowski limped off with an injury. Porto grew into the game as the half wore on, but failed to test Marc-Andre ter Stegen. Instead, Lewandowski's replacement, Ferran Torres, opened the scoring right on half-time. After being sent through on goal by Ilkay Gundogan, the Spaniard slid the ball past Costa, to send Barca into the break with the lead. Sergio Conceição's men came flying out for the second half and within the first minute, João Mario came within inches of equalizing as the fullback went on a marauding run towards goal before letting fly from the edge of the box. The Porto fans then had their heads in their hands minutes later as Pepe found himself through on goal with just ter Stegen to beat, but Jules Koundé made a fantastic recovery run and poked the ball away from the forward just as he was about to shoot. Porto continued to probe, but were once again denied after Wendell was slipped in by Galeno, only for the Brazilian fullback to steer his effort straight at the Barcelona shot stopper. After failing to make their dominance pay, Porto thought they would get the chance to equalize from the penalty spot when João Cancelo was adjudged to have handled in the box after Steven Eustáquio initially controlled the ball. However, after a lengthy VAR check, referee Anthony Taylor viewed the incident on the pitchside monitor and concluded that the Porto player had controlled the ball with his arm before hitting Cancelo, and therefore reversed his penalty decision. Barca were reduced to 10 men in stoppage time after Gavi was shown a second yellow card, but it was too little too late for the home side, who ultimately failed to find an equalizer after a promising second-half performance against the Spanish champions, but remained second in the group. Barca sit top, making good progress in their pursuit of the knockout stages after missing out last term.